Steven Universe is the property of Cartoon Network, Rebecca Sugar, and its respective owners. Any and all footage or images have been used for the sole purpose of critique or parody, and as such are protected under fair use. Please support the official release. Hey, how are you? I'm SliceofOtaku, and I want to talk about a decision made by Steven that could possibly ignite a second wave of homeworld enemies coming to Earth. I'm of course talking about the Rubies. Right now, there are 5 homeworld gems just floating around in space with a ton of intel on the current status of Earth. And that's pretty alarming. Now, when I was watching the crystal gems face off against the Mega Ruby, I was wondering what they would do with them afterwards. It's a more difficult situation than some may think. I mean, they could have poofed and bubbled each individual ruby to contain the information they had gathered, but what would that say about the crystal gems themselves? They'd essentially be taking hostages, deciding the fates of other gems just like Homeworld would. And it would show that they haven't learned their lesson from what they did to Lapis, knowing that she was in the mirror but keeping her imprisoned inside of it. So I'm pretty happy that they didn't go down that road, but at the same time, just sending the Rubies out into space is pretty cruel of them. The Rubies aren't exactly mean-spirited or even bad guys. They were tasked with recovering Jasper, not really caring about the crystal gems in the least, mostly due to their competence. After being lied to multiple times about the crystal gems, they're now just floating around aimlessly in space. And with the exception of Steven, the gems seem pretty indifferent to the whole thing, simply moving on. This will probably come back to bite them in the future. Think about it, the Rubies now know there are still rebels on Earth. Eyeball actually holds the most intel, like how Rose Quartz is no longer with them, having sacrificed her own life to create a gem-human hybrid, aka Steven. This is probably enough to provoke Homeworld to exterminate the remaining forces of Earth, and it's not like they'll be oblivious forever. I mean, come on, just consider all the red flags. Lapis suddenly comes back to Homeworld from Earth, not in a mirror cracked or even corrupted. Jasper, an incredible warrior, suddenly disappears. Peridot is now rebellious towards Yellow Diamond, advocating for the Earth's survival and calling her a clod. And now a recovery team is sent and is missing in action too? It's only a matter of time until their suspicions are raised enough for them to take action. We're currently living off of limited time. Now I don't know about you guys, but when Steven pretty much threw Eyeball in another direction, I was scared. What if this little decision could have put her on a trajectory towards Earth, or even a planet capable of contacting Homeworld? That may just be my paranoia speaking, but I really feel like that decision was a big one for Steven. As seen in the episode Mindful Education, it's on the same scale of guilt for him as Jasper and Bismuth. Although for some reason it doesn't seem like he holds that same weight of guilt for each individual Ruby, but instead focuses on Eyeball. Man, if nothing is done about the Rubies, I can't see the continuity beast that is the Crewniverse letting there be no future repercussions. The only way I can see this being avoided is by the gems collectively facing this issue head on. I don't want Steven to go rogue to save another gem. I feel like the crystal gems in their entirety have matured as a team and should be able to come to the decision together. Who knows, maybe the Rubies will comply in order to save Jasper and we'll finally get a Ruby squad led by a cured Jasper in the future. I know how much you guys would love to see that. But what's your take on this whole Ruby predicament? Is it a matter that deserves immediate attention, or is it not that big of a deal? As always, if you found anything in this video interesting, be sure to share it all over the place. Thanks for all the continued support and have an awesome day.